Morning everyone. So today we'll start about the next type of transformation, that is Fourier transformation, and rather to more specifically, that is discrete Fourier transformation, that's short abbreviated form as DFT, discrete Fourier transformations. So basically there are two type of Fourier transformations there in universe, that is one is CTFT, one is DTFT. One is continuous time Fourier transformation and second one is discrete time Fourier transformation. Now this is a discrete Fourier transformation, a sort of difference from that of the DTFT, that is the discrete time Fourier transformation, is that in DTFT, that is Fourier transformation of discrete time sequences, x of n is being converted to x of e to the power j omega. In that case, the input sequence is a discrete time sequence. That's why it was known as discrete time Fourier transformation, DTFT. But in this case, discrete Fourier transformation is a special type of Fourier transformation that is not only applied for discrete time sequences but also be defined by the Fourier transformation, whatever it is being defined, that will be discrete in nature. For each and every value of that point, it will be defined. DTFT and CTFT both are continuous form. Whenever it is being transformed into Fourier transformation, the Fourier spectrum will be, frequency spectrum sequences will be continuous form, that is with respect to that of the value of omega. But here for Fourier discrete Fourier transformation, the Fourier transformations, whatever is being defined by spectrum logic of that discrete time sequences, it will be defined by a discrete type. So what is DFT? DFT is used for analyzing discrete time finite duration signals in frequency domain. So not only the time domain sequence, the input sequence is a discrete time sequence, but also whatever we are collected as our frequency spectrum or frequency domain transformation, that is also discrete in nature. That means that will be defined for not only for each and every point, that is all again defined for some distinct instant of time. Let us suppose we have a sequence, finite sequence is defined by x of n, whose Fourier transformation is being defined as xn is a discrete time sequence. So we have to find out its discrete Fourier transformation. So let us suppose this x of n has a finite duration sequence with a length of n. That means the length of n is nothing but defined as the number of points exist in that of the sequence of n. In x of n has capital N number of points, such that we can say the value of x of n will be 0 for outside of that of the region for n equals to 0 to n minus 1, as it has the n number of points, capital N number of points. So this will be defined for 0 to n minus 1 number of values. If it is, let us suppose 8 points are there for that of the value of n, so 0 to 7 it will be defined, and out of the region of 0 to 7, that is less than that of the 0 and greater than that of the 7, it will be undefined. That means the sequence don't have any type of value of outside of this range of 0 to n minus 1. That's why we can say the value of x of n will be 0 outside of that of the region of n, small of n, in ranges from 0 to capital N minus 1. So DFT pair, if I want to find out its DFT sequence, discrete Fourier transformation, certainly discrete Fourier transformation will be defined by the frequency term as x of k, where k is the frequency transformations, and it will be simply defined as summation of n ranges from 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega of n k of n, where the range of k ranges from 0 to n minus 1. What is k? K is nothing but a variation with respect to that of the value of n also. So the range of k and the range of small n is also defined for n number of capital N number of points. Not only the range of n ranges from 0 to n minus 1, but also the range of k ranges from 0 to capital N minus 1. And outside this range, the value of like x of n, the value of xk is also 0, that is for the value of 0 is otherwise. So in that way we can say the DFT of x of n will be defined by x of k as summation of n equals to 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n k n, where omega is here as Twiddle factor of that nature. So in that way DFTs can be defined. Now if I want to reconstruct our time domain sequence again, that means you want to find out from that definition, if I want to find out again x of n, that is nothing but defined as the inverse type of discrete Fourier transformation, and that could be defined as inverse discrete Fourier transformation, IDFT. So in that IDFT it could be defined that x of n is nothing but, logic is same, only you have to find out the value of x of n from that of the value of x of k. So what it can be defined? Summation of k ranges from 0 to n minus 1. X of k here is the input signal is x of k. So x of k multiplied by omega n minus of kn. The range of here n ranges from 0 to n minus 1, and the overall summation is being multiplied divided by 1 by n because it's the inverse Fourier discrete Fourier transformation IDFT. So a slight difference between x of k or reconstruction of x of n is that for that first one, the power of the twiddle factor capital omega is k of n, and in that second case, for inverse discrete Fourier transformation, the power or power of that of the twiddle factor is minus of kn. And in the first term, the summation is simply defined as the summation of that whole term. In the second term, that is for IDFT, the summation is being divided by the value of capital N, defined by the number of points of that of the sequence. Now, according to that logic, x of n and its discrete Fourier transformation, DFT is defined by x of k. How it can be defined? How it can be defined in that way? It will be simply defined by the spectral analysis of these figures. In that first case, in time domain, the sequence of x1 by n will be defined as it ranges from 0 to n minus 1. For other ranges of the value of before that of the value of 0 and after that value of n minus 1, all the values is defined by using this sequence is 0. That means we can say the value of x of n is 0 for outside the range of n small n 0 to n minus 1. And whenever we are transforming it in DFT, certainly we are getting the value of x of k as in that way. It is also defined for the same values of 0 to n minus 1. As for each and individual value of 0 to n minus 1, it is defined. That's why it is known as discrete Fourier transformations. That means x of k is not defined for each and every values. It is defined for the values of 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5 up to n minus 1, depending upon the value of n. So in that way, we can define whenever a sequence, a time domain sequence is discrete and finite, certainly whenever we are getting its DFT, discrete Fourier transformation, the resultant sequence is also defined by a discrete sequence as well as a finite sequence. Is the time domain sequence ranges from 0 to capital N minus 1, and the resultant x of k, that is DFT of that particular sequence, is also resultant for the ranges of 0 to n minus 1. What is n? N is nothing but the range of that sequence, the number of point of the values for that sequence. And one point to be noticed very carefully whenever we are doing the transformation from x of n to x of k, the value of that capital N, the number of point of that of the sequence is nothing but defined as the time period of that sequence also. Time period means it will be defined by that logic, that means after those values of time the signal will be repeated. That means we can say it will be repeating value of that of the nature. The sequence will be repeated. That means it will be defined by a not for linear representation of that of the signal, but it can also be defined by a circular representation of that signal also. Now, if I want to define discrete Fourier transformation, how it can be defined? The definition of discrete Fourier transformation can be defined in that way. For a length n sequence x of n, defined for the range of 0 to capital N minus 1, only n samples of its DFT are required. Similar to that of the previous logic, if the sequence x of n ranges from 0 to n minus 1, certainly the range of x of k is also ranges from 0 to n minus 1. So in that same way, it will be defined that for a length n sequence x of n has n number of sequence points are there. That's why it's defined by a length of capital N. As its length is n, so it will be defined by the value of small n ranges from 0 to capital N minus 1, as n number of point samples are there. And whenever we are transforming x of n into its corresponding DFT as x of k, the value of x of k is also defined for the same logic as 0 to n minus 1 with n number of samples also. So in that way, it can be defined as the n point DFT of that particular sequence x of n, depending upon the nature of the value of n, and which are obtained by uniquely sampling x of e to the power j omega on the omega axis. As x of e to the power j omega is a continuous time Fourier transformation, as continuous time in terms of omega. So whenever we are confirming its sampling process so that the continuous time signal is being converted to discrete, so it will be getting a discrete Fourier transformations, and the value of omega will be simply converted as 2 pi k by n. The value of omega is nothing but its Friedel factor, and whatever it is defined by the value of kn, so it will be certainly multiplied by k. So omega itself will be defined by 2 pi by n, and the value of k is nothing but defined by k. So in that way it will be defined as. So the value of omega k will be nothing but simply the sampling values of 2 pi k by n. The value of range of k is also ranges from 0 to capital N minus 1. So from the definition of DFT, we can thus have that the value of x of k, the value of definition of discrete Fourier transformation x of k will be simply equal to that of the value of x of e to the power j omega, that is DTFT, whenever the value of omega is 2 pi k by n. So if I put the value of omega there, certainly we are getting the responses, getting the definition as summation k ranges from 0 to n minus 1 x of n e to the power, because e to the power j omega is there, e to the power j omega means 2 pi k n by n with a negative value. So this simply defined as the definition of DFT from the definition of DTFT by putting the simple relationship as omega k is equals to 2 pi k by capital N, where the range of n, not only n but also k, is from 0 to capital N minus 1. The value of capital N is nothing but the length of the sequence x of n. So in that way we can say that x of k is also a length n sequence in the frequency domain. Similar to that of the x of n, x of k is also defined by n number of points. Outside those points 0 to n minus 1, it don't have any type of existence. So it can also be defined as a length n sequence in the frequency domain, as simple as that. The sequence x of k is called discrete Fourier transformation of the sequence of x of n, whose length is defined by capital N. So using the notation of omega, it will be defined by e to the power minus j 2 pi, and the value of suffix n is nothing but divided by the value of n. So we can say the value of omega capital N is nothing but defined as e to the power minus j into 2 pi by capital N. The DFT is usually expressed as x of k as summation of n equals to 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega of n k n, simply defined by the earlier problem. E to the power minus j 2 pi by n, it will be simply defined by omega n, and the value of the power of kn is nothing but the suffix of that of the kn. So it's simply defined by the logic from that of the definition of DTFT as DFT. Now if I result that value in terms of Friedel factor as resulting in summation of n ranges from 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n 1n, so it will be certainly defined as summation of n equals to 0 to n minus 1 within bracket the value of xn. If I put the definition of IDFT, the value of xn is simply defined as 1 by n summation of x of k to the omega n minus k of n multiplied by omega n kn. So certainly if I define by that value of 1 by n can be taken outside of that of the summation. So we are gathering two summation, one is ranges from n, another is ranges from k, and both are ranges from 0 to n minus 1. So not only value of n but also the value of k. So both are ranges from 0 to n minus 1, and within the summation it will be defined by x of k omega n minus k of minus 1 into k minus l into n. So in that way will be defined by 1 by n, and under that two summation the value of x of k omega n minus of k minus l minus n. So making use of that identity, we can say that if the value of summation ranges from 0 to n minus 1, omega n, that is in the power minus of k minus 1, is certainly defined by r of n. So we observe that the right hand side of that last equation equal to x of 1. So if we put the value of x of 1 as x of 1 is nothing but the value of k is simply 1. So putting the value of k equals to 1, it is simply defined by x of 1 is nothing but defined as summation of n ranges from 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n 1 into n. As simple as that. Now similar to that, those logic, as we are defining that the xn has only n point of sequences, and outside that endpoint, means outside of that range of 0 to n minus 1, it don't have any type of existence. That means we can say already that if a sequence x of n has n number of point of sequences there, certainly that number of value of capital N is nothing but defined as also as the period of that of the sequence also. That means after that completion of n number of point, the sequence will be repeating itself. That means if we have x of n with n number of points, so those x of n, that x of n can be represented not in a straight line order or linear shift parameter, but it can be defined in a circular parameter, because after the value of n number of point, the circle is complete and it will be repeating again as it's a periodic sequence. So in that way, the value of x of k is also defined by a periodic sequence. So in that way, you can say if a sequence is r of n small n is a square wave sequence, r of n, we can say the value of its value of ranges n equals to 0 to n minus 1, its value is equals to 1, and for other values it will be 0. So it will simply define clearly concept of a periodic sequence. So it can be represented in a circular sequence according to that way. Now if we put that value of capital N here, let us suppose we are taking the value of n equals to 12. So there will be that circle, almost the circle, as a circle having 360 degree. So it can be represented by equal spacing of 12 points starting from the value of x of 0 to x of 11. So if I put all the points in that starting from the 12 point, x0, x1, x2, x3, all are equal spaced, and that will be ended at the value of x of 11. And just take a second next portion of that of the sequence. If I want to put the value of x of 12 there, it will be simply overlap with the value of x of 0. That means we can say the value of x of 12 is nothing but defined as x of 0. So here we can say its periodic value of that sequence is nothing but 12. That means if we want to find out a sequence of x of 20, it has a periodic of 12. So x of 20 can be nothing but defined by represented as x of 12 plus 8, as 12 is a periodic value, so we can represent that value of x of 8 also. So x of 20s can be also defined by the same value as that of x of 10, 8. Similarly, if I want to find out the value of x of minus 1, how x of minus 1 can be represented with respect to the time period of 11, 12. So it can be represented as x of 12 minus of 11, or it can be defined by x of 11 minus 12, because minus 1 is there. So it will simply represent as x of 11 minus 12. As 12 is the time period, so it will be vanishes. So it can be simply defined as x of 11. So in that way also, x of minus 1 can also be defined by the value of x of 11. So in that way, it will be defined by a periodic sequence. So in the same respect of DFT also, x of n and its DFT is defined by x of k. If xn has a point sequence of capital N, so we can say it will be a circular representation of x1 can be represented with respect to the value of capital N, similar to that of its DFT also. Whenever we are representing its DFT as x of k, that also has n number of points, it ranges from 0 to n minus 1. So it also can be defined by a circular manner because it is also periodic in nature. So whatever the points are there for x of n and x of k, both are periodic with respect to the time period of capital N, because both the sequences ranges from 0 to n minus 1, and beyond the range, before that of the 0 and after that of the value of n minus 1, it will be simply representing the repeated value of the previous value according to its nature of that of the periodicity. So in that way, both the sequence can be defined by a periodic sequence. So with respect to in the touch of that periodicity of that sequence, DFT can also be defined, or x of n or x of k can also be defined in that circular manner according to this nature. Here it's a 12 point, x of 0 is exactly opposite to that of the x of 6, but whenever we want to put the value of x of 12, x of 13, certainly after x of 11, we can put the value of x of 12, x of 13, but x of 12 and x of 13 and x of 14 nothing but merges with the value of x of 0, x of 1 and x of 2. So we can say x of 12 is nothing but exactly the value of x of 0, x of 13 is nothing but the exactly value of x of 1, x of 14 is nothing but the exactly value of x of 2. So similar to that of the DFT also, x of k is nothing but defined as the periodicity, a periodic sequence of capital N. So in that we can say it will be defined by a simple defined by, or we have to simply write as modulo n. Modulo n means it has a number of point of capital N, and in that number of point is nothing but defined as the periodicity of that sequence also. So in that way DFT can be defined. So in that way we can define our discrete Fourier transformations or DFT. Thank you everyone.